if you look here, we have brain, and we have some layers between the brain and my skull. What are the things between skull and brain called? Meninges. Okay, how many of them are there? Three. Remember we did dura, arachnoid, and pia. The trick is different areas are called different things. So what you have to notice is that there is, if you follow the white lines, sometimes the white lines go into the brain and back out. They follow the contours, right? And we have different names for those. So I need a head. No, not that. I need that looking down inside head. That's the wrong head. I need the other skull. There's only one that shows it. Who has the head? Do you have the head? You have the head. All right. So here's how this is going to work. You're going to look this way. I'll turn on one light so you can see it. So on this model, we've taken the brain out, and we've left part of the meninges attached to your skull. And there's three sets. There is one that goes this way. That would split your brain into a right and a left. Okay? So the dura mater that goes this way is called your falx cerebri. So if I split you like this, I'm a falx cerebri. Why do you think it's called cerebri? Cerebrum. Right? There's also one, if you look in there, that splits your cerebellum the same way. What do you think we call it if you split your cerebellum that way? Falx cerebelli. So there's a falx cerebri and a falx cerebelli. Then there's one that goes this way, and you can see it right here. It goes between your cerebrum and your cerebellum. That forms a tent. So what do we call that one? Tentorum cerebelli. So you have a falx cerebri here, a falx cerebelli here, and a tentorum cerebelli that goes that way. Those are the three ways your meninges can be inside the brain. So on this model, which is the only one that shows all of them, this one will be falx cerebri, falx cerebelli. The ring you see is the tentorum cerebelli.
Can you go over them, please?
Sure. Falx cerebri up here, falx cerebelli, and the one that goes this way, or this way, that's the tentorum cerebelli. Yes?
So the falx cerebri is between the two hemispheres?
Yes.
Yeah.
And the falx cerebelli is between its hemispheres.
Yeah.
So falxes go vertical or sagittal.
Yeah. So this model is just a little ridge.
Yes, it's just a little ridge because it's the brain out. Now there's something more complex. If you look at my line here, notice that there's a space with little holes in it. If you look in here, you'll notice that there's a little triangular space between the dura maters. Let me show you a picture. Not that it really matters. But pretend this is a brain, okay? Here's my skull. If you think of the brain as it's rounded, there's a little V at the top of your head. Right? That's between all this stuff. So the falx runs vertically, and then there's this little V at the top. What do we call the little V at the top? That's not a soft spot because you're an adult. It's a sinus. What do you call the sinus at the top of your head? Superior sagittal sinus. So in doctor speak, top in the middle of my head. That's your superior sagittal sinus. So the falx cerebri contains the superior sagittal sinus. Does that make sense? So the wall there has that little sinus in it. So there's also a sinus in my falx cerebelli. Does anyone know what you call the sinus in the lower part? The straight sinus. Very good. And there's a sinus in the one that goes horizontally, the tentorum.
Transverse.
The transverse. So you have to think like a contractor. You know, the wall is the falx. The hollow space behind the wall where the plumbing is, that's the sinus. So you have walls and sinuses in all three planes.
So does that mean, like, at the diagram, the little diagram you drew?
Yes.
The falx cerebri?
Yes.
Like, does it go up and split?
Yes.
And then?
It follows kind of the skull, yeah.
And then what happens at the top? What is it?
It just merges into one. So what they would do is they would just go like this and then go around the brain. But you'd have a little V where they try to meet at the top.
And that's just a depression?
Yes.
What's between the V and what's the next thing after the V? Is that just your skull?
Yeah, periosteum. So the inner lining of your skull.
Okay. Thank you.
And so the transverse sinus is just the gap between
Just the gap right here. Yeah. So transverse sinus is in the transverse cerebral fissure, where the tentorium cerebelli lives. So of all the lists, this is the one that takes the most time, just sort of eyeballing 3 dimensions, right? Because here you don't see the falxes because we took them out. All you see is the leftover space where they would be, but not the actual wall. Make sense? So that one's hideous. We only have one model of it. So if you see this